Hello, good people. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Awakened Africa, and I'm your host, Bemo. So, on our today's video, I would like us to talk about the issue to do with the collapse of the American dreams. Right. So, I bumped into a couple of videos from different speakers here. They're trying to break down the issue that how the whole issue around the collapse of the American dream. So I'd like us to watch that video as we discuss together this issue. So let us get down to the video. Right.
About buying luxuries is because back in the 80s, luxuries were expensive, but life was cheap. Now it's been inverted. Our life is expensive, but our luxuries are cheap. So I think this is where the disconnect's happening. For example, in 1980, you could rent a great apartment for $200, but a television would run you $1,000. So if you bought 3 TVs, that would be $3,000. A CD player was $500. A cell phone was $2,000. A personal computer was $2,500, and a microwave was $500. That's $8,500. That is 3.5 years rent on luxuries. And $8,500 was also equivalent to a 20% down payment on a $40,000 home. So it was irresponsible if you didn't budget correctly to buy all these luxuries because it could be holding you back. But today, it's flipped. Our biggest luxury is...
Man, this comparison is just crazy. This comparison is just... It's just mad. Just take a look at the figures, man. Let us watch the video.
Is our rent for $2,000. We can now buy 3 televisions for $600. We have a Spotify account, cell phone for $1,000. You can get a computer for $500, a microwave for $200. That's about $2,400 a month. So our luxuries is about 1 month's rent, where theirs was 3.5 years rent.
Man, yo, so their luxury in the 1980s is like just 3 months rent, you know. Yo, I don't want to say, guys. Let us watch the videos.
And if you want to put this onto a down payment, even if you took the average home of $420, let's bring it down to just $320,000. A 20% down payment on that is $64,000. So if you gave up all those luxuries, you would still owe like $61,000. This $2,400.
Americans, you're not supposed to enjoy life. You are not supposed to enjoy life, because how do you enjoy life with all these expenses here? Life is so hard, man.
Of luxuries wouldn't even cover your closing cost of $10,000 on that home. So the whole thing's been flipped. So I think when they see us with the TVs, the avocado toast, and the cell phone, they think that's the reason we can't move forward. But why we can't move forward is because housing, daycare, college, and healthcare is so expensive. But those are our necessities.
Yo, bro is preaching, man. Bro is preaching. Life can't move on because, you know what? The necessities are so expensive to afford. You can't afford this, man.
These luxuries are just fun little things.
Yo, it's just crazy. It's just crazy. Let us just go to the next speaker, you know. Right? So look at our brother here. Look at our brother.
Country right now, and rent prices being over $1,500.
Bro is literally living in a car. Bro is literally living in a car. So you can imagine what, man.
I have been outpriced at the rental market, and I live here in my car full time, and I wanted to give you a brief tour. So starting with the bed here, it is a 3-inch memory foam mattress topper. Super comfortable. I have about 4 layers of blankets, which keeps me warm.
We people in Africa living and enjoying life. Guys, come to Africa. Come to Africa. Because why are you saying that you're living in America? Somewhere where people believe that when you go to America, you're going to make it in life. But when you go there, you're just being eaten up by snow. You're literally sleeping, or you're literally living in a car. Not just sleeping. You're just living in a car. Yo.
Especially right now, we've got 20-degree weather at night, so it's pretty cold.
The American dream was just a lie. Yo. Man, let us just go to the next speaker. I want you to listen to this guy.
Not only doesn't care about the world's poor, it doesn't even care about its own poor.
America doesn't care about its own people, because you know what? Something that really baffles me is how can you be saying that you want to help poor people around the world? You have an agency that the other day was just dismantled by this guy known as Elon Musk. You want to literally try to help people, but I mean poor people, but you know what? Your country is already full of poor people.
1 in 7 Americans is hungry right now.
My God.
That's crazy. 1 in 7 Americans is hungry at the moment. Yo, guys, you need to pull up your socks.
And they don't care.
Tell your government to care for you, care about you. They don't give a damn about you, of course.
I mean, the poor people care, but one political party, all it cares about is cutting taxes for the rich and filibustering any solution. So we're in a world that's really tough. The private sector's not...
You know what? The private sector is not going to solve the problems of the poor people in America. Man, let us just go to the next speaker.
I always get Americans tell me, oh, but people in Mexico only make $20 a day. You can get a full meal here for $2. The metro in Mexico City costs 5 pesos, which is like 25 cents. Yeah, people make less money here, but the cost of living is also lower. Americans think that everywhere is like the US. Now, check this out. Let's say you live in the US and you make $3,500 a month after taxes. I'm being generous. Rent, $2,000. Car payment, $500. Car insurance, $200. Health insurance, $200. Phone bill, $100. Wi-Fi bill, $50. Light bill, $150. Water bill, $100. What's the point of making more money if you don't get to keep any of it?
Man, this is just crazy because there is no point of someone making money. You're working hard. You're literally working hard, but what are you taking home? You're taking nothing because you live from paycheck to paycheck. You use all your money to pay bills, to pay... Man, just get out of America, man.
Who cares if you make $4,000 a month if you don't get to keep any of it?
Bro is preaching. You know what? Bro is preaching. Just take a look at whatever he's trying to say here.
60% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck.
More than 60% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck as of September 2023, according to the Lending Club report. Oof.
That includes half of six-figure earners. 80% of you guys are in debt and don't own anything.
Man, 80% of Americans are in debt and they don't own anything.
Half of you guys don't even have $500.
You guys, you need to come to Africa. Guys, if you're a black person, you're in America, you're in the United States of America, kindly come back home because the ancestors need you back here, man.
In your
Life is in abundance here. Everything is in abundance. So just come back home, man.
savings account. But let's call other countries poor and let's call other people poor. Living paycheck to paycheck your whole life and being in debt
your president is so fond of calling us African poor people.
whole life should be considered poverty, but it's not. And I know this is going to hurt a lot of Americans, but it's the truth. The US system wants you to spend every waking moment of your life working and paying into a system that will never benefit you. Slaving away your whole life just to be retired for a measly 10 years. At least here in Mexico, we own our things. We own our houses. We own our cars. We're not in debt. But anyways, that's a story for another.
You guys come back to Africa, man. Just come back to Africa, because what you telling me that you can't. Life is hard in America, and you can't afford anything, but you keep on living in America. So a couple of people were interviewed on the current state of America.
Workers say they wouldn't be able to cover a $500 emergency expense.
63% of workers will not be able to cover a $500 emergency expense.
Most people don't have $1,000 in the bank. Most people cannot handle a tire blowout, or they're going to put it on credit.
Absolutely.
Americans now carry more than $1 trillion in credit card debt.
So what's the point of living in America if you have all this? As in, you're suffering all these problems. You're just facing all these problems. What's the point of living in America in the first place?
The official poverty measure in the US today is based on calculations from the mid-1960s.
It's also a system that is pervasive in actually creating poverty situations.
There was this great...
This is just crazy. This is just crazy. So, I mean, bro, the numbers are just crazy, bro.
37.9 million. That's the number of Americans currently living in poverty.
37.9 million. The number of people living in poverty in America.
Poverty.
In Canada, we have 41 million people in the whole country.
In Kenya, we are around 55 million people. So You guys, the number of people who are poor in America can make a whole country vote for their own president. Like, guys, you can't be suffering, man. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. Just crazy.
It's great abundance. And at the same time, alongside that abundance, there is widespread poverty and economic insecurity.
Sometimes you question, we're in the United States of America. How can the citizens be going through such a issue? We always boast that we're a superpower, that we are the richest in the world, and things just don't make sense.
Poverty in the U.S. had been steadily improving over the past decade. From a height of 48.8 million people living in poverty in 2013 to 34 million in 2019.
Not bad.
That was until the pandemic changed its course.
But I think COVID affected so many people, and I think it's just across all the world. I don't know if COVID was real or this was just cooked stuff by, of course, let me just stay silent. I don't want to know.
Absolutely had a very deep impact on the access to employment and long-term employment for a number of families that were already vulnerable for various reasons.
Poverty is expensive. About 11% of the federal budget, or $665 billion, goes
$665 billion going to economic security programs.
To economic security programs.
A lot of companies were also cutting down on jobs.
I mean, this is the reason as to why so many companies have been cutting on jobs, and you find out that young lads, especially the Gen Zs, they opt to buy courses online so that they can, from these online gurus, of course, so that they can at least learn something, and they can get something to just a little bit of something substantial to learn, maybe learn a skill so that they can monetize it and get a way to survive. Things are really getting out of hand in the United States, and if I was living in the United States, most probably I'd ask my parents, like, let's just get another place to live. Like, you guys have an option. You can go back to Mexico. And these Mexicans who are being deported, like, it's a good thing for you guys to be deported, by the way. You can go back home and make a living. Yo, let's go.
The income for the top 10% was more than 13 times higher than income at the bottom 10%, according to the U.S.
This is crazy.
We, unfortunately, in the United States are at the very high end in terms of income inequality. And so what happens is, when the distance gets further and further away, the rungs on the ladder get further away, and it's harder for people to climb those rungs out of poverty into the middle and to the upper class.
The pandemic has made inequality worse.
Yo, listen.
The Gini Index, which measures the nation's income inequality, rose for the first time in a decade by 1.2% in 2021.
The reason the pandemic has made that worse is because when you talk to large organizations, corporations, what they saw was that staff was leaving, but they had a response to that, right? Their response was, let's give bonuses, let's give raises. Many organizations, many small businesses, government, they don't have that luxury. So inflation has kept up with the money that most people in the 1% have made.
You know, one thing that President Donald Trump promised Americans was when he gets into office, the first thing he'll do, he will make sure that inflation comes down. But that has not been the case. You know what? I think our government should be working for the people. I know we have our own problems back in Africa, but we have brothers and sisters, especially the Black community living in the United States. So these are issues that concern the whole world. And this is what I have to say. A government is supposed to serve the interest of the common people and not serve the interest of its own friends or for their own personal gains, you know. So when you see like things are not working, then you guys are just insulting the take on democracy by your former president Abraham Lincoln.
But it has deepened and widened the gap between those that have money and those that do not.
Research by MIT estimates that the living wage in the United States is $24.
Whoa, bro, $24 an hour? That's a living wage?
And 16 cents per hour for a family of 4. But the federal minimum wage is set at $7.20.
No, bro. This can't be real. Like, I mean, this thing is just crazy. Yo. $7 an hour. Okay, this thing is just crazy, right? Let us move on.
This means that a typical family of 4 needs to work more than 2 full-time minimum wage jobs to earn a living wage. And single-parent families need to work significantly harder.
We worked at a bank. We worked for $15 an hour. It was really bad. I would say we were really overworked. 13-hour shifts sometimes. We were really frustrated with where we were, but at the same time, it was like, what do we do if we leave? You know, we were at that stage of like, yeah, we hate this job, but we have to keep it to continue going.
Man, my brothers and sisters in America, I feel so sorry for you guys, and I think it's high time for you guys to stand up and stand out boldly and defend your country, defend your constitution, defend your lives. Because if the political class manages to shut down to shut down the constitution, like they don't work according to the constitution, this probably means that you people are going to have a hard time, right, to live in that country, because you are living in a democratic country, and everything must follow the constitution. So if you have a few individuals that can control the constitution, the same few individuals control what the court says, the same few individuals dictate laws for you, then you guys won't be living in a democratic government anymore. You'll be living in a dictatorial state, and it is really bad for you. So my take is the American dream is collapsing, the American dream is going down, and it's really sad state of an affair. It has been my pleasure to be your presenter for today. My name is Bemo. This is Awaken Africa, and if this is the kind of content that you really like, kindly consider subscribing, right? And if you've already subscribed, then you know what to do. Turn on post notifications, that every time I post a new video, you'll be the first person to get to watch it. Thank you, and let us meet in the next video. Peace out.